A Violent Man is one of those movies that really interested me in its subject matter, in its dissection of this character, but at the same time kind of repulsed me because of its low budget movie making and because it tried to hit these typical tropes that don't really fit within the story they're trying to tell. It's a low budget movie and I would never hold that against any kind of movie whatsoever, but they try to do some scenes later in the movie that don't quite work, and it's primarily because of budget, but we can't hold that against the movie. The main plot here is about a mixed martial arts fighter who is just going through the motions, doesn't seem to have a great career ahead of him, when one day the undisputed champ just happens to come into his gym because the manager of him knew the gym owner and he wants to have a sparring match, and he chooses our hero. And the champion and Tai go toe to toe, and it turns out that Tai wins. He takes him down. It has a very similar opening to Warrior, and his life changes because of this story, because of this action. His whole life is intrinsically changed. He finds that he becomes famous because he took down the undefeated champion, and he's just a guy that just, potters about a gym. He gets contacted by reporters, one played by Denise Richards, who they go and have a couple of drinks. He's telling his tale and it leads to them having sex. The next day he's home, he has a girlfriend, and it turns out that Denise Richards' character is dead. She's been murdered, she's been choked to death, and he is the prime suspect. But in the same time he has given the money and fame to fight the undefeated champion in an unprecedented match. And you have this idea of a man who you don't know if he is flawed or if he is downright evil. It's a strange image because you get such an insight into this main character of Tai that I kind of liked where it was headed. You get this character whose life is just turned upside down. Every dream that he wanted has suddenly come true, along with every nightmare in his life. He's adamant that he didn't kill the reporter, but every sign points to the fact that he did do it. And you have this strange dichotomy of his life falling apart but achieving everything that he wanted to achieve. He's going to get that big fight that he always wanted. He's going to get a title bout. He is going to become the best of the best, but he's also possibly going to end up in jail because all this evidence points towards him doing this murder. And the movie doesn't point you in one direction or the other. It just shows you facets of the character. Sometimes he is sweet and carefree and honest, and other times he is vicious and brutal. And it keeps chopping and changing throughout the movie, and I love this aspect of it. Every time the idea of the big fight came into the movie, I found my interest waning ever so much because I knew where the movie was heading. It's heading towards a fight scene at the end where these two guys are going to come to blows and blah blah blah. What I did like is the idea that this guy was murky. He wasn't black or white. It didn't tell you. There was a definite shade of grey there where his moral standings were. He claimed innocence, but we never knew. We don't know what happened to the girl, and that was the thing that kept me interested in the movie. Eventually you get to that fight at the end, and even when it gets to the end of the movie, there is a chance where it can leave you on this rather depressing note, but it doesn't quite let you there. It leaves you beads that hints towards other outcomes of the movie, which I don't want to spoil for you here, that kind of brought the movie down for me. And that big end fight isn't as flashy or as fancy as it could have been. For obvious reasons, they can't have a crowd, so they do it in a closed off arena, which is basically a warehouse somewhere, and it's pay-per-view on the internet is how they reason it. And it's a good enough reason, but it doesn't look great on the movie. You'd expect more of a buzz around this type of thing. The manager could have made more money by making it a public event. And one of the fighters looks pretty out of shape, and I'm sure he's still a lethal guy, but he doesn't look pretty out of shape in this movie. It's a movie that really toys with me. I don't know if I liked it, or I don't know if I hated parts of it, but ultimately I think it's worth checking out. It's interesting enough. I think there is enough good points there that it could have been a really good movie in this if they had just gone for it. But unfortunately they don't, and they kind of fall into certain tropes of these type of movies, and it doesn't quite land as well as it should have. Still, A Violent Man is worth checking out. I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5. It's not great, it's not bad, it's worth a one-time watch. You may find something that you enjoy, or you may find something you find just completely unoriginal, but that's up to you. I just put it out there, up to you to check it out, but I'd love to know your opinion. That's what the comment box below is for. Put it in there what you think of A Violent Man, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.